please. What are the main components we have in Power BI and what we have discussed?
We discussed about the Power BI desktop and Power BI service and Power BI data user.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so we will continue to the study session. Like we need to talk about the Power BI data gateway, right? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so data gateway. So as I said, data gateway is a bridge between source and Power BI service. Okay. Power BI service. So today I will send the text notepad which I have maintained the description and everything, right? So I will provide you that in the our Power BI group, okay? So that you just refer the description and the information about the information about this gateway service and desktop, okay? So as I said, like we have two types of gateways, okay? We have two types of.
I haven't very well doubt. Can I ask?
Yeah, please.
In desktop purpose, we used to when we said that we cannot publish any changes in desktop. We have changes in service, right? Then we have to publish, and then after it will be changes will be occur on desktop.
No. You are still, I think, confusing, Kishore.
In service we have to change this. We have to change only service.
No. You are taking. I mean, you are telling it vice versa. You have to do the changes in Power BI desktop, not service. Okay. Let me write you. We have to do the first. Let me tell you. Okay. First, we will create the reports. Okay. We will create the reports in Power BI desktop tool. Okay. Power BI desktop tool. So it is a developer's tool, okay, and it is a developer's tool, okay. And then after that, once we create reports in PPA means Power BI, okay. Power BI desktop, then we will publish to the Power BI service. And if you want to do any changes, in the existing report which you have developed, you have to come to the Power BI desktop and open the report, open that particular report which you want to do the changes. So and then do the changes in desktop, okay, PBA desktop. I'm explaining you, I mean, very detailed, okay, so that you will not forget. Do the changes in Power BI desktop, okay, the same changes, and then again publish to the Power BI service. Okay, clear, Kishore?
You opened it in the service, changes you can see in the desktop publish.
నీ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది.
Can you open the desktop once?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Normal desktop you cannot do anything.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, you have to log in with your client environment. You have to log in with your client environment. If you open the normal desktop, I cannot access the client environment, right? See, I can open this desktop.
Publish is available in here now. Using service. Using desktop only we can edit and we can do changes. The publish will be in desktop only. Desktop.
Yeah. The publish option will be available in desktop only. Once you click on that publish.
I told to open desktop only. See my that's what confirmation.
Okay, 1 second. See, there is an option called publish.
Maybe the login is very process. That's why I have to wait to claim that close.
Okay, 1 second.
Whatever it should be changed, should be made in desktop only.
Exactly. Can you see the option called publish?
Yeah.
So once you click on this publish option, then it will give a pop-up called in which workspace you want to publish it. Okay, there is a workspace concept, right? So in which workspace you want to publish it. So you need to first you publish to the one, for example, test workspace. Okay, one report. Okay, test. For example, XYZ report you publish to the test report. Okay, so test workspace. Okay, then in XYZ report there are some changes which you need to do. Okay, then what you need to do? You need to open the report in Power BI Desktop here and do the changes. And whenever you click on publish again, then it will give the pop-up like so. The report is already available in the test workspace. You want to replace with that workspace. You need to click on yes, so that it will be available with the latest changes, right? That is the process. Okay.
Actually, we will censor the client for desktop or service.
No. See, that's what I'm saying. So for client, there will be, for end users or business users, they will not use the Power BI Desktop. They always use the Power BI service. Okay. They always use the Power BI service.
Sorry.
Clear, right?
Actually, YouTube yesterday that's why to add this question because yesterday I have saw some video. Changes made in service. That's why then we directly changed it in service. I thought that why the desktop is set up and maybe service to the class.
Still your voice is breaking, Kishore. So let me tell you clearly. So
yesterday I saw some videos on YouTube and they changed it in the service places.
In service?
They changed it in service places.
Service. That's what I'm saying. You can do the changes in service, but yesterday that's why I explained like if you do you can do the changes in small changes, the minor changes in Power BI service. But again, if you want to do the major changes in that existing report, okay, you have to come to the
for example, like adding a column or again.
Exactly. So these are options not available in Power BI service. Yeah. So and that too, the minor changes you have done, so the same changes you have to do again in the Power BI Desktop. Otherwise, if you forget to do the same changes in Power BI Desktop and once you publish to the Power BI service again from Power BI Desktop, then the changes which you have made in Power BI service will not be available because it will override the changes, override with the latest changes which you have done in Power BI Desktop. Okay, whatever the changes you have.
Yeah, because the maintenance
Sorry.
Everyday refreshing, then that will be not occur in desktop. When we
So the refresh will be available in only Power BI service. You can do in Power BI Desktop also, but if you do the Power BI Desktop refresh, then you have to publish every day. Otherwise, the changes will not be available in Power BI service. Clear? Still any doubt?
Yes. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So, let's talk about the gateway. Okay. So we have two types of gateways. One is standard mode or enterprise mode. Both are same. Enterprise. And second one is personal gateway. Personal mode. Okay. First one is enterprise mode. Standard mode. Okay. Standard mode means so it can be shared and reused by multiple users. So that means in organizations, we use always standard mode. We will not use the personal mode. Okay, we will not use the personal mode, and can be. So second point is can be shared, can be used by Power BI, can be used by Power BI apps, Power BI logic, Power BI logics, and logics, Microsoft Flow, etc. So you can use most of the time standard mode only. 1 second. Standard mode only, and okay, and also it supports schedule refreshes. Support schedule refresh. That means schedule refreshes and live query in Power BI. That means what it will do, like see, like it will. So if you use the standard mode, then it will support the schedule refresh. For example, you create a report and you publish to the Power BI service. Okay, and then so you want to have that latest data every day, right? That you want to have that refresh of the data every day, right? So for this, standard mode only will work. So personal mode will not work. So that is the advantage, and also it can be shared and reused by the multiple users. So that means, so for example, in our organization, so more than 200 people are using Power BI, and then so to make a automatic refresh, so we can use this standard mode. Okay, we can use standard mode. Okay, and the second one is personal mode. Actually, most of the time, admin can take care of this data gateway installation and all, but we need to make a schedule refresh and all. As a developer, we need to do the schedule refreshes in Power BI service. But the data gateway installation and all, I think we will not have access. Admin can only access this. Okay, but you have to know that, like, what are the gateways and how we can install the data gateways. Okay. Okay, and the personal gateways, it will allows one user only to connect sources, and it cannot be shared. It cannot be shared and reused to other users. So it is only purely for your personal purpose. Okay? It is purely for your personal purpose. Nobody can. I mean, you cannot share to the other users. Okay, you cannot share to the other users. Okay, this gateway only used in Power BI. So you cannot use in Power BI logics and Power BI apps and Microsoft Flows. Other services you cannot use it. So it is only used in Power BI. That means that too you can use only for your personal purpose. So for example, if you download the data gateway with the personal mode, so you can use only for individual purpose. For example, I have downloaded my personal test. I have downloaded the gateway with personal mode. So Rajesh can only use this gateway. No, but it cannot be shared with the Kishore, it cannot be shared with the Harish, it cannot share with the Pawan, and it cannot share with the XYZ. Okay, so it cannot share with the other people. Okay, so that is the reason it is clearly mentioned that personal mode. So I mean you cannot use the personal mode in real time. Okay, it can be, and you cannot use in the organizations as a personal mode. Okay, can be only used by you. So used by you. Okay, so can only used in Power BI. Okay, and only schedule refresh support for individual purpose. Schedule refresh supports for your individual purpose. Okay, clear? అర్థమైందా?
I have a small doubt. Actually, we have an owner contributor like that.
Yeah. Yes, Kishore. I think those are comes under our workspace in Power BI service. Okay, Power BI service workspace. So those are the concepts we have in a workspace. So gateway is a different way. Gateway is a different way.
Yeah, I mean to want to say that we have suppose the owner permission to be have a contributor. He can access everything. The owner can access everything, and control can access only in workspace. Like that option is there in this.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. See, in workspace we have a different roles. One is a contributor. One is an admin, member, contributor, viewer. These are the 4 types roles. These are 4 workspace roles we have. I will explain you in each and everything. Like if you add as a user, I mean if you add as a member, I mean how it will work, and if you add as an admin, how it will work. If you add as a contributor, how it will work. So I will explain you. Let me show you. Like for example, in any one of that. You see here. So these are the 3 things I have, because I cannot what you can say, act as a admin, because in any organization there will be only 2 or 3 admins. For example, we are 10 developers in organization, so everybody cannot be as an admin. Okay, everybody cannot be as an admin. Okay, that is the reason. See, I cannot able to see the admin access, but we have an option called admin. So member, contributor, viewer. I have a three workspace roles we have. See where I have went. Like, see, if you go to the workspace, and then if I go here, any one of the workspace, in any one of the workspace you can see it. Not only here. So here also, for example, see for this one, so they have not given access to me for report portal.
Oh, we have you. What is the contributor you consider?
Sorry.
So you are the member. You are member, right? Just you have what is a contributor, and reviewer you will get.
Member means he can create a report. I mean, he can reset the reports, and he can maintain the schedule refreshes and all. Contributor means I'll just check the description. Okay, I'll check the description. So contributor means it is most of the time member and contributor both are same. I think contributor have somewhat little advantages we have. Okay, I'll tell you one second.
We have seen here that Balakrishna Gaudi is admin, right? Down.
Yeah, exactly. He's the guy admin, and he's the guy also admin. He can do everything. He can delete the reports. Okay, he can delete the reports. He can what you can say, manage the gateways, and he can remove the permissions. For example, he is the admin, and he can remove my access. He can remove my workspace access. For example, they have given access of self-service DNA. Okay, this is one workspace name, and they can remove me from this workspace if they have admin access. Okay, because they are the admins and they can have all controls. Okay, admin means he can control everything in the Power BI service. Okay. Yeah. Once this topic is coming up, then I will explain you, because workspace roles and everything we need to. I can show you how to create the workspace and everything. Okay. Yeah. So and let me tell you, Kishore, so whatever the topic which we are discussing every day, you just search in Google. So don't go with the advanced concept, so that you will have so many questions.
Yeah, this is not that one, because in licensing part we have in same like Azure, we have a owner contributor
Okay.
role like that. That's why I asked you, that's the license we have. Okay, we have taken personal mode means then we consider as a one owner, or he just like his own part of it, and just like that, because of that is comparing complete that is a Microsoft Microsoft tool.
So it will be the same in Azure also. It will be the same in Azure also.
Yeah, that's a aspect. And we're searching.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Channel didn't search, but I used to watch that, and that is because of what we missed something like that one.
Yeah. So now today we have discussed gateway, right? You go and search, you will get so much. Information.
No. This is enough. This is enough data, because of again we put in that again. We just will go in, and will be going to the other side. Okay.
No. At least you no. For example, gateway information, you can search it. At least you can get some extra information, right? Like for example, okay, how we do the data gateway installation. So where we need to go to install the gateway. Okay, what are the prerequisites we have? So you can get that information, right?
Actually, yesterday I have what is why the we only got an idea why we can change in service major, then what happened. But only I have such because of this COVID, mind will be going different ways. What I'm asking is we haven't Azure, I have already learned Azure, right? The owner permissions will be there, same thing, that's why I asked.
Okay.
Owner permissions and contributors.
No problem. What I'm saying is so just search for today. After the class, search for the data gateway. So how it will work. So everybody, not only Kishore, okay? Go and search in Google or YouTube, what is exactly the gateway do. Okay? What I have explained is clear, but to have extra information, you just go to the Google and search it. What is the gateway? How it will do. Okay? Yeah. So now the next one is Power BI report server. Okay? Power BI report server. It is a alternate option of Power BI service. Okay, Power BI service. So it means so there are so many functions will not be available as we have in Power BI service. Okay, service is the cloud technology and report server is the on-premises technology. So before Power BI service, they were using Power BI report server. Okay, they were using Power BI report server. Okay, report server. Okay, and so it is not a cloud one. Okay, it's not a cloud one. It's not a cloud service. It is on-premises web interface. On-premises web interface. That means so this report server will host in the company environment. It will not host in the cloud. Okay, it will not host in the cloud. It will be an on-premises and it will host in the company server. So that is the main difference. Interface. Okay, and then it will host it within your organization. As I said, it will host within your organization. So servers and all you know, right? So the servers and all they maintain in their company environment, right? The same way report server also they will maintain in their company environment. Okay. And so to use this, you need to have the company, your company intranet. Intranet means inside the company. Inside the company. Okay? Inside the company. Okay? So inside the company. So that means so you cannot use this, like for example now what I have said like yesterday, right? app.powerbi.com. If you do it, so you can open that, right? But in report server you cannot do that. So you have to use your you have to log in with your VPN credentials and you have to be in a company environment. Okay, company environment. And Power BI report server and it's and it cannot develop the dashboards. Cannot develop the dashboards. That means it can only develop the reports. Okay. So that is the best. I mean that is the very disadvantage thing, right? So when you are using Power BI report server, so you cannot develop the dashboards. So what I have said yesterday, can anybody tell where we can create the dashboards?
We can create the dashboard.
So where we can create?
Service. Power BI service.
Yeah. Yes, correct. So because Power BI service, as I said, Power BI service is a cloud service.
The reports and dashboard also, right?
Yeah, reports. No, in Power BI desktop we create reports, and in Power BI service we created dashboards. Okay, dashboards is I will explain you what is the dashboard, what is the report, difference between report and dashboard. Okay, that is also we need to cover, because once you know the basics, I think for the basics only it will take the time, because once you know the basics, to go to the system and create the reports, it is not a big deal. Okay, you have to know the basics and the differences. That is the most important thing. That's why it will take time to understand the basics. Okay.
Yeah, sir. Okay.
Clear, right? So you cannot create the reports. You cannot develop the dashboards in the Power BI report server. Okay, that is all about Power BI report server. Next one is Power BI report builder. Power BI report builder. So in real time, I think so. The mobile app is also there. Mobile app is also there. I will explain. Okay, Power BI mobile. So in real time.
Sorry for interrupting. This is a complete Power BI is an AWS software services, right?
Sorry?
Power BI is a complete software services.
Yeah, it is a SaaS technology, software as a service, SaaS. Because it is a cloud technology, and we are taking the service from the service providers, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, see, report server nowadays nobody is using, because it is a old technology. But I can ignore this. But what I'm saying is, you have to know the difference, right? What they were using before and what they are using right now. Okay, that is the reason I'm explaining every. I'm covering the every point. Okay, every topic. See, this is we can ignore it because nobody is using right now report server. But there are some companies are using, but you can directly tell them, like, I have not used the Power BI service. I have not worked on Power BI report server. So since 3 years I'm working as a I'm working in a Power BI service only. So in my organization nobody is using Power BI report server because it is a old technology and there are some disadvantages in report server compared to the Power BI service. Okay. Okay, it is also used for the mobile app is also used for the interacting the reports, interacting the reports and dashboard. complex. So you just need to, while you create the reports, you have an option called mobile view. Okay, you have an option called mobile view. If I go here, so there is an option called mobile layout. See, can you see it here? So this is you just need to maintain the layout which needs to fit in our mobile, right? Any mobile. So that is the reason you just need to select this mobile layout and you just need to drag the required information. I think nobody use this mobile apps because once we open the Power BI service, then you can see the same like in a same like in a Power BI service. Okay, that is fine.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
You said that the minimum configuration of a laptop 64-bit and 8 GB RAM.
Yeah.
In mobile, we have any configuration like that?
No. In mobile, see, for what I have told you to have a minimum requirement to create the reports, to download the Power BI desktop. But
Yes.
for mobile app, for mobile view, what you need to do, you are just seeing the report. You are not creating the report, right?
No.
Okay, but
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, but only by seeing the report, but we cannot change anything for in the phone.
No. How can you do the changes in mobile, right? So it is not possible. It is only for viewing purpose. It is only for the end user purpose. So if they want to see the report in their mobile, so they can see that. But how they do the changes? Because they will not have access also to the changes, and it is not possible to do the changes. But they can interact with the reports. Like they can they can filter it. They can do the filters, and they can interact with the report. Slice and dice, they can do that. Okay, mobile app is only purely used for viewing purpose, to see the reports, to view the reports. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it is only, see, for configuration and all, it is only required for the Power BI desktop. For even Power BI service also, did you download anything or did you do anything for the configuration? No, right? You are just typing app.powerbi.com. That's it, and you are entering with the, you are logging with your username and password. That's enough. So there is no configurations required for Power BI service also. Okay. So report builder. So report builder means, okay, report builder means it's mostly used to develop the paginated reports. Okay, paginated report is a different concept. Paginated reports is a different concept. Okay, this is also, you don't need to worry about that. So most of the time, paginated reports will use the, when you have a premium license. Okay, when you have a premium license, then only you can create. Okay, then only you can create. Okay, when I say paginated reports, so basically these are pixel perfect reports. Pixel perfect reports. For example, standard format will be like, for example, you want to have the invoice reports. Okay, invoice reports. Invoice will be the same format for every, it's for company to company, right? For example, I'm TCS in the invoice format. Invoice format will be the same for all the invoices. So for IBM, there will be invoice what you can say, format will be the same. Okay, for this reason you use the paginated report. So okay, once you set up the standard format of the company, then you can use the same format for all the invoice reports. Okay, so that is the reason we use this Power BI report builder. We use the Power BI report builder for the invoices and receipts. Okay, payment receipts. Okay, for example, let me tell you. Let's say when you buy any mobile in Flipkart, or when you buy in a mobile shop, they provide an invoice, right? They provide an invoice like the date and the company name and what is the quantity and what is the name of the product and everything, you see that, right? So the name, the date will be top right side, and the company name will be in the middle, okay? And the quantity in the lines and everything. Did you see that? Did you, anybody see that? You know the invoice, right? How it will be the invoice? Yeah. This is what I'm saying. See, for example, so can you see that? I mean, I cannot able to. I mean, let me save image as this. Can you see this? So, see, for example, see, this is the invoice. Like this is the invoice number, and this is the company name. Because I cannot see this. It is blur. Okay. Let me. See, can you see it here? So for this, but for these type of reports, we use the paginated reports. Okay, we use the paginated report. Okay, this will be the same. So the format will be the same. So the dates and the description will be different, but the service invoice, bill to, quantity, unit price, amount. So this will be the same for any report, right? Any invoice. So that is the reason. What I am saying is report builder we use for the invoices, receipts, and delivery notes. Okay, delivery notes. Most of the time we use the delivery notes because they want to have this information. They want to have this information with the pixel perfect information, pixel perfect report. Okay, that is the reason we use this paginated reports. Okay, for this such kind of reports we use the paginated reports. Okay, why we use this only for these invoices, receipts, and delivery? Because in these reports, the format will be fixed, right? The format will be fixed. So that is the reason we use the report builder. Okay, that is the reason we use the report builder. Clear? Clear? Any questions?
Pagnate only used for only generating the invoices like this.
For invoices report, and receipts, payment receipt, I mean to say, and delivery notes. Okay. Delivery notes. Yeah. Okay. So this is all about the Power BI desktop, Power BI service, Power BI data gateway, and Power BI report server, and Power BI mobile app, and then last one is Power BI report builder. Okay.
This comes under Power BI concepts or ETL or Power BI licensing.
Yeah, we will cover that. I mean, Power BI licensing part also we need to cover it. Okay.
Now this is Power BI concepts, right?
Sorry?
From telling number today there is a Power BI concepts of any Power BI. Do you know one list of training list, right?
Course content you meant to say?
Which content? What content?
Sorry?
Actually, you given some syllabus, right?
Yeah, course syllabus. Yeah. Yes.
Which content? I mean, Power BI concepts or Power BI library?
I'm not understanding. Can you please?
డైలీ 1 hour 2 hours క్లాసుల్లో 45 days క్లాస్ అని ఇచ్చావు కదా అది
ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ పవర్ బి డెమో అంటే పవర్ బి డెమో 2 hours పెట్టాను. 2 hours లో ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్ని వస్తాయి అన్నమాట. Because I cannot maintain everything, right? So in the course content, so that is the reason I just maintain Power BI demo. So in the Power BI demo you can see all this. You can consider in the Power BI demo all these concepts. Okay.
Means the introduction.
Yeah, Power BI demo is there, right? Power BI demo.
Power BI demo no పెట్టలేదన్న అందుకే అడిగాను.
ఒక్క నిమిషం.
Power BI introduction ఇచ్చారు. Power BI
Power BI maybe introduction. Maybe I can. 1 second. Let me check.
ఎందుకంటే మధ్యలో కొంచెం లైసెన్స్ పార్టీ కవర్ అయింది కదా కొంచెం నోన్ కదా కొంచెం ఎక్స్ట్రా నేను అక్కడ లైసెన్స్ పార్టీ వెళ్ళారమ్మా.
Introduction. Yes, introduction is there, right? Introduction. So introduction 2 hours and the components means these are the components. Power BI desktop, Power BI service, okay? Power BI service.
ఐడియా ఉంది కదా పవర్ బై కాంపోనెంట్స్ లేకపోతే ఈ ఐడియా ఉండదు కదా పవర్ బై కాన్సెప్ట్ లేకపోతే
Yeah, sure. That's fine. So yeah, see course content ఎలా ఉంటే అలా అని చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, because you just need to understand the concept, right? Just need to understand the concept. That is the most important. Yeah. Yes, Kishore. 1 second. I'm just checking that. Just remembering that. So in introduction also we have, and another one is components, right? So we can call it as a components, and components also again main. These are the, we can say tools. I can say tools. Okay, these are the tools I can say. Power BI tools, like Power BI, not a components, Power BI tools we can call it as. So in components also we have components also we need to cover, but Power BI tools, like in Power BI is a one type of package in one type of reporting tool. In that Power BI reporting tool, in Power BI package, what are the tools we have? Okay, what are the tools we have? We have Power BI desktop, Power BI service, Power BI report builder, Power BI gateway. So these are the tools we have. Again, the gateway concept will come into the coming sessions, right? So that on the time also we will cover it. Okay. So course content, మీరు course content గురించి ఎక్కువ worry అవ్వకండి. I will cover everything. Okay, I will cover everything. But whatever I am saying, just focus on it.
అలాగే కాదు. సపోజ్ ఒకవేళ ఇంటర్వ్యూయర్ సపోజ్ వాట్ ఇస్ పవర్ బై కాన్సెప్ట్ అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, మాకు సడన్ గా స్టడీ అయితే బాగుంటుంది కదా అని అడిగి
Okay, no issue. So these are the tools, we call it as a tools. Okay, these are the tools. Power BI, what are the tools we have in Power BI? So we can say Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and then Power BI data gateway,
report server, mobile
report builder, and everything. And the components concept also will come. In components we have a components like Power Query, Power Pivot, okay, Power Map. So these are the components. These are the components: Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View, Power Map, and Power Q&A. These are the main components in Power BI. And again, we have a building blocks. Okay, building blocks we have. So do we have that building blocks option in in our course content? I think building blocks, right? So we can cover that. We can cover that also, building blocks. Okay. So building blocks means we have visualization, data set, reports, dashboards, and tails. So these are the building blocks. So components are Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View, and Power Map, and then Power Q&A. See that these are the components. Okay. So these topics we will cover it. Okay, we will cover it. Okay, then the last concept I said, right? ETL. I said yesterday I will explain about the ETL. Okay, what is mean by ETL? ETL is extract. So the full form is extract, transform, and modeling. Okay, sorry, extraction, transform, loading. Okay, extract, transform. We'll tell you the brief and load. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, what is mean by ETL? ETL. For example, if your data in Excel, what you will do?
Can you minimize this part?
What you will do first is you will extract the will extract the data from Excel, and then you will need to transform that. So what does it mean of transform? What does it mean? So what does it mean of transform? So for example, in your Excel, you have some null values. Okay, you have some null values, and also you need to change some header names, and also you need to remove blank values. Okay, you need to remove blank values, etc. See, for example, you have a data. Okay, you have the data in one Excel. Okay, you have a data on Excel. Let me open it in Excel. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so this is the data which is given by my business user. Okay, this is given by my business user. Okay, so this is the data I have. Okay, these are the column headers, right? You know, right? These are, I think you know the basics of Excel, right? What is the header and what is the rows and what are the columns? Okay, these are the rows, and these are the columns, right? Even at least తెలుసు కదా basics. ఈ basics కూడా explain చేయాలంటే it is very tough. Okay, for me ఈ basics అనేది తెలుసు కదా మీకు. What is the column headers and what is the rows and what is the columns and what are the headers, right? అర్థమైందా? తెలుసా? ఐడియా ఉంది కదా ఇది? Other guys like Pawan, Vikrant, Gopi
ఉందన్న.
Okay, ఎందుకంటే you would explain చేయండి చాలా కష్టం. So what I am saying is, for example, I extract this report in Power BI desktop. Okay, I extract this I extract this Excel sheet into the Power BI desktop. So once I extract this data, then I need to do the transformation. Transformation is nothing but I need to do the data modifications. I need to do the data modifications. For example, here, so this I have get this into the Power BI desktop. Then I want to do the data modifications. So I want to in Power BI desktop, I want to do the name column name. I want to change the column name in the transformation. So now it is an opportunity name. I want to make an underscore between the opportunity and the name. And if there are any blank values, I need to remove it. If there are any blank values, I need to remove it. Here I don't have any blank values. Okay, wherever we have a blank values, wherever you have a null values, I just need to remove the blank values. So these type of what you can say task you do in the transformation. Okay, I mean once we start the report, I will show you like where you do all this stuff in Power BI desktop. But to give a brief idea, so of the transformation, I'm telling you, like, so you do all the data modifications in the transformation. So that is the use of transformation. And then what is the load? Okay, what is the load? So once you like, see, you handle all such kind of things in a Power BI service. Power BI Power Query in the transformation. Okay, that is called, it is a transform. First, what we have done, we are extracting the data. That is called extract. We are extracting the data from source, whether it is Excel, SQL, SAP, whatever. So we are extracting the data from the source, and we are doing the transformation in the Power BI desktop. Okay, in Power BI desktop, we are doing the transformation in the Power BI desktop. I mean, desktop means we do the transformation in the Power Query editor. That is the main concept we have in Power BI, Power Query. Power Query. Okay, so this is, once we click on here. Okay, where is that? I cannot.
Right. Go to file.
File also.
Mobile TCC normal view.
Yeah, that's what I am just looking, but it is not coming. Okay, so once you click on transform data, if you drop down transform data, so you can see this transform data. So once you click on this is the Power Query editor. So this is the Power Query editor. You do all the data manipulations and all the data modifications, column headers, rename the columns, remove the columns, and everything you do in the Power Query editor. That is the reason. See here, you can see Power Query editor. Okay, once you come here and once you go transform data, so if you click on transform data, then it will take us to the Power Query editor. In Power Query editor only you can do all the data modifications, like renaming the columns, removing the columns, removing the unnecessary data, removing the blank values, removing the null values, and everything you do in a Power Query editor. Okay, once you do all the transformations here, and then what is the next concept is loading, right? What is the next concept is loading. So once you do that, once you handle all these such kind of transformations, so then you load the data in Power BI, load the data in Power BI desktop. Okay? You load the data in Power BI desktop. Okay, we load the data in Power BI desktop. So once you load the Power BI desktop, so it will store in. So we will use the internal storage, Power BI internal storage, Power BI internal storage, Power BI internal storage. So this is about ETL. Okay, ETL concept is like, see, you extract the data in SQL. Okay, once again I'm telling you extract the data from SQL, SAP, Azure, Oracle, wherever it is. Okay, you are extracting. Okay, you are extracting and fetching both the same. You are extracting the data from the source. Okay, and then you are doing the transformation in Power Query editor. Okay, Power Query editor is also concept of Power BI, right? So you do the transformations. You do the transformation before loading. Okay, before loading the data only, you are doing the transformation in Power Query editor. Okay, do the transformation means, okay, renaming the columns, removing the unnecessary columns, and removing the duplicates, and removing the unnecessary data and everything. All these steps you do in the Power Query editor before loading the data in Power BI desktop. Okay, once you perform all these steps in transformations in Power Query, then you will load the data in Power BI desktop. Okay, you will load the data in Power BI desktop. Clear about the ETL? This is brief about ETL. Okay.
ఒక డేటా అనేది ఎక్సెల్ లోకి మనకు వస్తుంది. మనకు వచ్చిన
నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఎక్సెల్
ఎక్సెల్ అది సపోజ్ ఎక్సెల్ అనుకున్నాం ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఎక్సెల్ ని ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ చేసి దాని తర్వాత ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ చేసిన తర్వాత లోడ్ అయిన తర్వాత మనకి డెస్క్టాప్ మీద డిస్ప్లే
అవుతుంది. డెస్క్టాప్ మీద కనిపిస్తుంది. So transformation lo before loading the data into the Power BI desktop, you are doing the transformations. Okay, you are first extracting the data from Excel and you are doing the transformations in the Power Query editor, and then you are loading the data in. So once the data is clean, okay, so I don't see why transformation is important means I don't want to load all the shift data. I don't want to load all the waste data. Okay, I don't want to use load the data which is not required for my report. So that is the reason you do the transformation. You always do the transformation to data to clean up the data. To clean up the unnecessary data. To what I can say.
Actually, we will transform and it will go to the Power Editor query, right?
Yeah, Power Query editor.
Okay, whatever we have in columns or rows, example like a header, whatever we have in selected, and that will be displayed in the desktop.
Exactly, same. Yeah, I mean, what we are doing, we are extracting the data from the Excel only, whatever Excel or any source. So it will be the same. Once it is come to the Power Query Editor. For example, in my Excel or in my any source, we have a 15 columns. Okay, 15 columns. So these are the columns. Let me open. So these are the columns. How many columns I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are so many columns. Okay, in that I don't need some other columns. Once I extract this into the Power Query Editor, okay, once I extract this into the Power Query Editor, I don't need these columns. Okay, I don't need these columns. What I can say, I can directly delete this in Power Query Editor. So you might have a question, why can't we delete directly in the Excel? See, in this scenario, we are not using these two columns in our report, but in some other report they might be using, right? They will need these two columns, these two columns. That is the reason we are not disturbing the source. Okay, we are not disturbing the source, and we are doing the modifications in Power BI Query Editor, You understand why we are not removing the columns in directly source? So the columns will be used in another reports, in another scenarios. That is the reason we don't want to disturb that source information. Once we extract the data in Power Query Editor, then we can do the modifications in Power Query Editor. So that it will be I mean, what you can say, it will be used, I mean, it will be available, it will be applicable only for this report. So it will not, we are not disturbing the source. We are removing the only columns which are not required in our scenario, right? In our scenario. So in some other scenarios, these two columns will be used. These two columns will be required. That is the reason you should not disturb the existing source, whether it is a source, whether it is a SQL, whether it is Excel. Okay. So you have to do the data manipulations or data modifications in Power Query Editor. Okay.
Completely everything in Power Query Editor.
Yeah, Power Query Editor. See, you can see in the top, Power Query Editor. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. So ఏ ఎడిషన్స్ అయినా సరే ఏం మోడిఫికేషన్ మ్యానిపులేషన్ చేయాలన్నా కూడా ఓన్లీ పవర్ క్వెరీ ఎడిటర్ లో మాత్రం చేసేసి పని చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ పవర్ క్వెరీ ఎడిటర్ లో చేసి తర్వాత నువ్వు ఇక్కడ క్లోజ్ అండ్ అప్లై కొడతావు. సో చేంజెస్ చేసిన తర్వాత క్లోజ్ అండ్ అప్లై కొడతానే ఈ స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుంది మనకి. క్లోజ్ అండ్ అప్లై కొట్టిన తర్వాత సో this screen will be visible with the data, with the I mean table information, tables and everything, so that the data, then you can you can use the visuals and you can use the column and fields, then you can represent the data in a visualization way. That is the concept.
Drag and drop.
Sorry?
Drag and drop.
Yeah, exactly. Drag and drops you can use with the existing data which you have loaded from the Excel or any other source. Okay. This is the concept of, I mean, just brief about Query Editor, but I can tell you like how we can do that. But I was just saying about the ETL concept, right? You extract the data, transform the data, and loading the data. Okay.
సింపుల్ గా ఏంటంటే ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ లోడ్ అనేది ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ అంటే మన డేటాని సోర్స్ నుంచి డేటా తీసుకుంటాము. సో దాన్ని ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ చేస్తాము. మనకు ఎక్కడైతే ఏమేమి మ్యానిపులేషన్ చేయాలో ఏంటి అనేది మనం పవర్ క్వెరీ ఎడిటర్ లో ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ చేసేసి దాన్ని సేవ్ చేస్తాము. సో లోడ్ వచ్చేసి పబ్లిష్ కి యూజ్ అవుతుంది. అదే టోటల్ దీంట్లోకి సర్వీస్ లోకి లోడ్ అవుతుంది. పవర్ డెస్క్టాప్ లోకి లోడ్ అవుతుంది. సో అక్కడ విజువలైజేషన్స్ అన్ని అప్లై చేసేసి ఫిల్టర్స్ ఏం కావాలో అన్ని అప్లై చేసి దాన్ని మనం పబ్లిష్ చేస్తాము.
Exactly. That is the end-to-end process of creation of report.
Okay.
That is the process of creating a report. Okay, so tomorrow I will talk about the Power BI licensing part. Okay, I will talk about the not tomorrow. So tomorrow is a festival, right? So maybe Monday. So we'll talk about the Power BI licensing part. Okay, Power BI licensing. Okay, Power BI licensing as well as the Power BI keywords means keywords. I think keywords. I don't know what are the keywords we have. Everything is a keyword, like Power Query Editor. Okay, Power. These are the modeling, like for example. So if you talk about the buttons, shapes, and these are the keywords only. Okay, buttons, text box, everything is the everything are keywords. Okay, everything are keywords.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll connect on Monday. Okay. So tomorrow, as I said, like
Transparency and bigger system.
yeah, thank you so much, and I wish you the same, everybody. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Today I'm saying so. I'm saying like go and search in Google and do take the description and note down somewhere the points. I mean, note down the topics which I have explained every day after the class. That will be so useful for you in future, definitely. Okay. Just go and take the descriptions, copy and paste in OneNote or somewhere, so that you will understand. You will remember for that. Okay. You will remember for that.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So I will provide that notepad information which we have discussed yesterday and today, so that it will be easy for you.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. Then bye everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.